Why, hello there, English 2 students, and welcome. We've reached the end of our perspective unit, so keep working on the project. Today, I'm hopping on here just to talk to you about the choice that you get to make. So the example of your choice is that we're going to be focusing on. So of course, for the perspective unit, during the body portion of this particular project that you're working on, you're going to dedicate a body paragraph to each of the excerpts you read. So The Hate You Give, Flipped, and The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And one is an example, and then an example of your choosing. So you're going to have 4 body paragraphs. The 4th one is an example of your choosing. In these paragraphs, you're going to focus on how these pieces show us perspective. So you're going to choose a piece and tell us how that piece explores perspective. So if I was to do this, there's a variety of different things you could do. You could do a real world example, you could do a video game, you could do a television show, a movie, a YouTube video, a song. It's really up to you. And so I'm going to go through a couple examples that I'm going to throw out there that if I was to do it, might use one of these to possibly explore perspective with. So let's say I wanted to use a video game. So if I wanted to look at a video game that explores perspective, I'd probably pick Skyrim. In Skyrim, at the very beginning of Skyrim, you pick when you're designing your character, you pick its race. And so you could be a cat person, which I think is a doja or whatever it is. You could pick, or a kaja, I think it actually is. So you could be a cat person, lizard person, Nord, or an Imperial, which are more humanoid types. And based on what race you choose for your character, the NPCs, the non-player characters that you interact with in the game, will treat you differently. So basically, each time you play, whichever race you choose, the other characters will perceive you differently. And so if I was to actually use this as an example, I'd even use some concrete examples from Skyrim that show like how a NPC would treat me different if I was a cat person compared to if I was a Nord. That's for a video game. There's other video games that do similar things like that. Movie that I could pick would be a movie that I saw in college with a bunch of friends. Vantage Point. Basically, Vantage Point is there's a terrorist attack that happens at an event, and you get to see the vantage point, the perspective of I think 6 different characters as when the terrorist attack happens. And basically, it kind of rewinds every time, and you're kind of just seeing each one's different perspective and how they react to the terrorist attack and the fallout of the terrorist attack. And basically, I would just explore like the different things, the different reactions that we're getting based on the perspective that the movie is giving us. Sitcoms are rife with these type of things. If I was to use a TV show, sitcoms would probably be the way to go, where 2 characters have a different perspective on something, and it causes a humorous conflict to arise. One thing that one specific one that I would look at would be like Friends, the episode where they find out that Rachel, or the episode of Friends where they find all the rest of the friends except for Ross finds out that Monica and Chandler are a couple. And it's the episode where I think at one point Phoebe says, they don't know that we know that they know we know we know. That one. But that would be where I'd explore perspective, where we're getting a perspective of the characters thinking that they have information when they don't. Another example that I could possibly look at would be Game of Thrones. I'm the actual book series, the Song of Ice and Fire book series, and throughout the entire novels of the Game of Thrones books, it follows time linearly, where everything just kind of keeps going. But each chapter is told from a different character's perspective. So time keeps marching forward, but we get a different character's perspective of what's going on. And so that would be another way that you could possibly, if I was to use that, I would probably talk about like, well, first we hear the Tyrion looks at this event differently than Jon Snow looked at this event. And last but certainly not least, a song for you if you were to go with that, which you can do songs. A song that popped in my head when thinking about this was Don't You Want Me by the Human League, where we hear a male singer and a female singer, and they're talking about their perspectives on a thing that happened, and a interaction that they had. So yeah, and I would kind of break down the lyrics and kind of see how the female perceived it and see how the male perceived it and go forward from there. So That's what you're doing. You're just picking anything of your choice and telling me how it explores perspective. I am allowing you to do annotations for this. So make sure you submit your annotations here in order for you to get some credit for it, but revisit it if you want to kind of take notes, or just off the top of your head, if you can think of some notes, just kind of jot them down and that you can use them for this project. All right, that's all I have for you. Sorry, I'll be honest. It's been a very long day. My name is Paul Davidson. If you have any questions for me, please email me at pdavidson.portagel.k12.mo.us, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.